I really wanted to like this camera. Polaroid holds a special place in my heart. My baby photo album is full of Polaroid. The photos of me growing up with my family predominantly were taken on Polaroid. However, the I-2, as it stands of December 2023, it's not that camera. It's not there yet, and we're gonna talk about that right now. I don't think I have to tell you this, but I'm gonna put it out there. I'm not paid or sponsored for this video, okay? My thoughts only. Let me tell you my journey with the Polaroid I-2. First and foremost, I watched a lot of the YouTube videos that you guys did when it first was announced, and I was super excited about this. Aperture priority, shutter priority, program mode or auto mode. You can adjust various different settings inside this, exposure. There's so many great attributes to this camera on paper. I'm like, I gotta buy this thing. I actually went to the store, buy one. Thought to myself, okay, it's gonna be a few $100. I go to the shop that's selling it. I said, can I see the Polaroid I-2? They said, sure. Go, how much is it? 1,200 Singapore dollars. What? Currency conversion, by the way, is around 700 pounds for the UK friends out there and about 900 USD. I was shocked. I'm like, wow, okay. How much is the film? That's about $32 Singapore dollars, which is roughly around 25 USD thereabouts. You know what I mean? You guys can do the math for the conversion. I'll put it right here. And that's 8 photos. They're like, yeah, I'm like, I thought medium format film was expensive with my my cameras. I looked through the viewfinder because I wanted to touch it and feel it because I love the design of it. It feels great. I mean, yes, it's a plastic body, but it feels robust and it's lightweight, so it's good to carry around with you. And then I see this weird thing going on with the viewfinder glass. Is this convex glass where it's all distorted except for one little small part in the middle. Is there like a decal on this or something? Like, no, that's how it is. It's kind of that retro look they were telling me. Like, retro look. I looked through it, tried to shoot a couple test shots there in the store, and I was like, okay, well, that's interesting. Well, I decided, let me reach out to the distributor to see if I can review it at least, get some more hands-on time, but instead of just being at a store and first impressions that weren't that great, let me just try it out. They agreed, sent it over to me to review it, gave me about 3 or 4 film packs to play around with, and I said, great, thank you guys so much. Let's get down to it. And one thing that stood out to me amongst everything else, what Polaroid says on paper in terms of all the great specs, they don't necessarily work that well. Aperture priority, shutter priority, it does shoot that way. But the aperture, the fastest aperture is f8. Your film speed 600, predominantly for most of the film. So if you're in an indoor situation and you want to take photos of people inside of a home or a restaurant and the lighting is okay, it's not going to work out. The flash on this camera, and this camera is quite bulky, right? Is not that powerful, which I was shocked about because usually Polaroid flashes are boom, wow. Okay, everybody's exposed great, right? The Leica SO4 II has a better flash than this does. Shockingly enough, and that's a much smaller camera system. You have to be very close to actually take advantage of the flash. And then the exposure is all off. No matter if I'm in aperture priority, shutter priority, or program or auto mode, it's underexposed, overexposed. Every shot is different. When you go to manual mode, it is much better. But the benefits of this camera are supposed to be aperture priority, you know, shutter priority, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And yet they don't expose correctly. Now there is an exposure dial on this that you can move up and down, you know, underexposure, overexposed. So I would push it up and that didn't help either. So then I reached out to the distributor. I said, is there something wrong with this camera? And he's like, no, I don't think so. I mean, we gave you pretty much a brand new camera. He sent me this PDF of how to use it. All right, great. Synced it up to my phone, looked for a firmware update, no firmware update. Okay, it is what it is. And then I realized that for someone that wants to pick up a Polaroid camera and take photos, this is going to be a little bit more complex. Fair. It's got various different settings. Now, when it is in focus and when the exposure is bang on, the images are beautiful. They're sharp. The lens out of this is great. Colors are nice, but out of 8 shots, maybe 3 or 4 of them are actually good. The rest, throw them away. And then sometimes I'm getting these weird splotches or tear marks in the corner or little like white blops there. Huh? I didn't even touch it. What's going on with this? And then I looked at other videos on YouTube because I'm thinking to myself, am I the only one experiencing this? And there are other people out there. But when this camera was first launched and Polaroid passed this, I think they gifted it to a number of creators out there who were in the film photography world. Not many people talked about these things. Fair enough, maybe first impressions and it was a pre-production camera. I don't know, who knows? The reality of it is the Polaroid I-2 as of December 2023, I don't think it's ready for prime time. Not for the price point, not for the inconsistencies. And it breaks my heart to say this because, as you know, on this channel, I'm a very positive guy. I love photography. I love all cameras. And there are a lot of great things about this camera that I think can be fixed by a firmware update or maybe just a price adjustment would help out as well. But as it stands right now, for 1,200 Singapore dollars for the camera itself, around 31 $32 for a pack of 8 shots, where 3 or 4 of them might be good. It's a hard camera to recommend for people out there, especially in this economy, especially in this time where people are really looking to maximize their dollar. I think Polaroid needs to rethink their strategy on the I-2 or the I series of cameras. Now, perhaps there is a firmware update coming. I don't know. I've asked the distributor. They have no word on it. And that will fix some of the exposure, because that would at least say, okay, look, exposure reading is bang on. Maybe they can make the flash a little bit more powerful. I don't know. At least I can say, fair enough, the camera works. So if I do get a bad shot, it's me, the photographer, not the camera. But as it stands right now, there went $32 for a pack of film. And I got 3 shots, 4 shots. It's a hard pill to swallow. With that said, if you want an instant film camera, as it stands right now, you could look at Polaroid's cheaper options, or you could go for the Leica SO4 II or the Fujifilm Instax cameras out there, which are going to give you a lot of the same features as the I-2, smaller form factor, better exposure. You can save the images, you can print whatever images you want out. You have more flexibility with the camera system, and wait for Polaroid to update this camera if they do. And if they don't, well, then wait for it to go on sale, because I don't see how many people are going to spend this kind of money in this economy on a camera like this that doesn't perform as it should. And I didn't want to make this kind of video because I really love Polaroid, but Polaroid, if you watch this video, you got to fix this camera. You got to fix it. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, more content on your way. Thanks again for the support, and I'll chat to you soon.